What's up, traders? FXProfessor again for the week of July 16th. Had some pretty decent moves last week. Nice news, nice fundamentals. Go ahead and read the disclaimer real quick, and then we'll break into the charts. All right, so the first pair we're going to look at is the USJPY. If you guys paid attention to my video from the week before, I was already anticipating this short off of the day chart. Again, I had a nice little hangman candlestick pattern that formed on the daily time frame, and that actually triggered my first short entry. I was playing that, got some nice little pips out of it, closed it out, re-entered back into the trade again. I did get stopped out on this actual trade once last week on the short, this move right here. So my stop loss was right about at the 113s. Price came down, pushed up. I saw it when it happened. It stopped me out. All I did was just re-enter back into the short position and just kind of ride it all the way down. Again, it came off the day candle. Anticipation for this week is to kind of continue this downtrend. We've already broken that trend line on the downside on a day chart. So we could be looking with the dollar weakness, maybe a quick little pause at the 111s, work its way back up. And then I could probably see this thing going all the way back down to the 109s again. But we will definitely keep our eye on this particular pair. Now, with that said, all of the US dollar pairs kind of had nice moves last week. The euro broke that high. EU continued its way up, and the GU pound also started going up to the upside. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. First, I want to draw your attention to the EU. Again, I called this trade last week. We were looking at some nice levels on the day chart around that 112.83 area. That's kind of how we first started. Once we were able to break those highs, I kind of knew this thing was going to be running. So we're looking to run. We got a lot of space up here. Okay, this is all Brexit that we're looking at. So we got a lot of space. On the upside of this particular pair, we can see what's happening. Our next level of major resistance is going to be at the 116s. We could be looking at the 116s, maybe 117s this week, just depending. Again, this is playing off of the dollar as well. So if we can break that 117 level, we're again the next level of major resistance is going to be at the 122. So we definitely got a lot of upside on this particular pair. That's on the day chart. As you can see right up in here, we did break that trend line. That shot us up right here. Once we broke that downtrend, everything was to the upside. Now we got some new levels to kind of play with. Again, I'm going to be looking for this particular week, maybe a retest of these highs here, coming down right off of your trend line on the upside. So, anywhere between the 112.92s, we'll retest it, then we'll continue to work our way back up north on the EU. So my sentiment for the EU, again, you guys are going to be long this week. After a little bit of a pullback, we might see earlier in the week, maybe one Monday and Tuesday, and then we're going to be, right around in this level here, and then kind of working our way back up to the upside. I want to pull your attention to the pound now. The pound is actually set up super, super sweet. I'm actually looking at the pound for a long-term trade, and when I mean long-term, this trade came off of the weekly time frame. So what I'm looking at here is I think that the pound might actually be at its lowest point. So we might actually be at the all-time lows, definitely since 1996. We're just looking at it, it's just kind of fell off the map here. So we might be at the all-time lows on the pound, which tells me that it's super, super cheap, right? So if things are super, super cheap, we have some fundamentals. They're calming down with the Brexit. That kind of news is kind of slowing down a little bit with the weakness in the dollar, the strength of the euro. This pair could be finally turning around. So what I would be looking for here is, if we get a break of the trend line, that's good. We can kind of this is a weekly chart that I'm looking at, so it's a large time frame. But I'm kind of setting this trade up to run for the next year. Okay. We did the math on it, and we could possibly, if we were to increase our lot sizes every 100 so pips, through over that 6 months, looking at a 2,000 pip range, it's probably close to around $20,000 or $21,000 in this one trade if everything plays out well. But before we can even do that, it needs to first show me that it's looking to reverse directions. Kind of what I'm looking for on that is a retest of the daily. Around this level here, we may see a small retest of this daily level, 1.30, and then we're going to continue our way to the upside in this nice GU break. Again, you guys, this pair is really, really cheap right now. A lot of opportunity on the pound. Like I said, the pound and the euro kind of play together, so they'll work together as well. Got a nice little crossover happening here. So, 200 days moving up underneath, even more confirmation on the daily chart. We're also underneath the 50-day moving average, underneath the 200-day moving average. We have a crossover. We've broken resistance level. It's just really good confluence right here. We're at super, super lows, okay, all-time lows. So all of the information on the pound is just definitely leading to a long-term trade. We could be at the bottom, and if you ever seen any of these moves, if you would have caught the pound before it fell, yeah, you've been real nice. So, I actually saw this trade happen. It was happening literally right in front of my face. So, where was it? 2000 and last year. We're talking here. Okay. So I actually watched all this occur. All right, I was in some of it, but now I think we've kind of made our bottom. We've kind of made our reversal. So, however you want to look at this bottom piece, little king's crown, head and shoulders at the bottom side. It's not that clear, but it definitely looks like we had 1-2 touches, a double bottom. Now we can say that we are starting to work our way back up out of here. So again, sentiment on the GU would be long. Same with the EU is to go long. Let's go ahead and flip over to the AU, and we'll see what we're getting out of there. So again, major push. Like this EU has just been rocking and rolling. We do have another level that it's pretty much already hit. Okay, so we don't want to worry about that. But there's one more on top of it that if this AU breaks through, it could really be off to the races again too. So we will watch this. I'm not a very big Aussie fan, but we did have some nice fundamentals come out last week. So we will take a look and kind of see what's going to happen. One more level to break. We might come down and retest. Okay, retest that 77 mark before we continue to work our way back up. Excuse me. This is my retest level here. This is what I'll be looking for any kind of bullish evidence. Is for this price to, either consolidate here, start to move sideways, roll over, come back down, build up some more momentum, and then we'll go ahead and think about blasting off. Back up to the upside on the AU. So AU again is going to be long. Next trade I'll put your attention to, we'll go ahead and go to the CAD. The CAD I was looking to short. Again, a nice trade. We had some levels there. It was a trap trade for me, so I trapped the price on both sides. Caught the downside on my hour time frame, and it just ran off the chart. So again, the dollar right now is having a little bit of trouble. On this CAD, I'd be looking for a pull to the upside, and then we can fix it. All right, so on this US CAD, looking at the weekly, just to kind of start, we're coming up on a support level. This is where we're going to be headed, you guys, this particular week. Right into here, that 124.64 range. Again, my 50-day moving average is coming up the top. 200's catching up. Okay, so we might see a little bit of a bounce off this trend line here, or this 200-day moving average, and the daily or weekly resistance level, boom, before we continue our way back down in this particular down channel that we're seeing right here. So the CAD is going to be short, just like the GU. We're looking to short that thing. It's been shortened for a while. On the daily chart, we've already hit our crossover on the moving day, 250. We're a little bit short, late on that one. Happened a couple weeks ago, but yeah, we're good to go. A little bit of a pullback. Always wait for those pullbacks, you guys. We want to sell when the price is high. That's why we're waiting for the pullbacks. Bring the price up a little bit more before we continue to, and before we go ahead and enter our pending order to sell it on the way back down. So that's going to be the trade plan for that particular pair. Let's go ahead and look at the Mexico US peso. This peso, I got in this peso last week. I just put a small position on it, just a little mini lot. This thing kind of moves funny. It's very sporadic. It'll stop, pause, and then it'll shoot up. It'll stop, pause, and it'll shoot back down. So you got to be careful when you're trading a peso. If you've never really looked at this pair, it's been on a huge downtrend for weeks. Okay, weeks on end. After going up for years, it's now starting to roll over and kind of probably recorrect. It actually reminds me of Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's kind of chart looks the same, just kind of this rocket move, and then we're starting to roll over and slow ourselves down there as well. So we have a resistance level at the 17.057 on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, looks a little bit different, but you really don't. If you look left, there's like nothing, man. You got to go back away. So it's the same resistance level, support level that we'll find on the weekly chart that I'm going to be looking to take profit at, which is that 17.071. So I'm just going to really let this peso ride out, you guys. It's a this is another long-term trade for me. Altogether, it'll be about, if it goes, 600-700 pips. So we'll see what happens there. I'll play with it in and out if I need to, but eventually I just want to just hold it and let it go. Okay, I'm already up almost 200 pips right now. So we'll see. I got another 500 to go. So we'll see what happens. It's not that hard to do. UJ, I'm up over 100 pips too. So I want to rock that thing out too. I only got 2 trades open right now. But I'll add to these positions this week, especially with the pound and euro, how they are. They took profit, so I wasn't too upset, but I would have liked to stay in those positions and just kind of let those things ride out, especially when I get such a good price on them. Let's go ahead and look at the New Zealand USD. I've been tracking this pair for a while. Again, we were waiting for it to sell, but it's not selling. Again, you know, we have the Kiwi is still particularly strong, and then when you can put that with the weakness of the dollar, we start to see what we're seeing. All right, so on this NZD/USD day chart, we've reached a resistance level at the 0.73. Okay, so we could be looking to maybe consolidate, roll back over. All right, just a little bit. I don't see too much. And then if we break, we're off to the next level, which is your 74.80s. Or we come back down just a little bit. But again, with the dollar the way it is, you guys, like everything that's tied to the dollar is going to continue to rise. Look at your moving averages. We got crossovers happening, 200-day and 50. You know, the information just doesn't look like it's going to sell. It's been on a weekly tirade. This Kiwi just rocketing up. So it needs to take a breath at some point, but it's just not giving it to us right now. So we're just going to keep going with what we're doing. Keep going with what we're doing. Let's go ahead and look at the real quickly gold and silver. See how they're going. I just kind of watch these. Oh, we got some nice channels setting up. This is exactly what I like to see for my trap trade. I'm glad I pulled this pair up today. So let's see here. I got a range. Okay. So that's going to be under gold. And look at silver. Look, silver is the same way. A little bit. It's not as clear on this range. That's 15 pips. So when I see these kind of consolidating ranges, I like to trap trade. So I'll put pinning orders on both sides, the top and the bottom. Again, you want to make sure that it's in a range where it can move. So if we look at gold on the daily chart, I have a little bit of room up to that resistance level. It's about 90 pips. And then I have also room down to the bottom. So that to me tells me I can definitely trade a trap trade on that one. On the silver, it's not as much to the upside, but I have a lot more on the downside. So I'd probably be looking for a short position on the silver trade, and then keep my long. But you think about the news, okay? So if the dollar continues to be the way it is, gold and silver should start to work its way back up. But we will definitely see. Right now they're set for trap trade, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw the pending orders on both top and the bottom, on both of these pairs, top and the bottom, off the 15-minute chart, and kind of see what happens with those. Let's see here. What else we got? I'll do one more. Euro JPY. Didn't have any trades on this particular pair last week. On the daily chart, it's still kind of sitting in here. If it breaks this 23.6 level, we can be looking to take it to the 38.2. If not, it could just range around in this 23 and then continue to work its way to the upside. Take a brief look at the weekly to kind of see what's been happening there. So we broke out of our down channel. We also broke a level there. A little bit. Try this one here. So as you can see on the Euro JPY, we're probably testing 128 levels before we continue to work our way up. It's got about another 400 pips to the top side before we get to the 132 range. So right now on this JPY, I'd probably be looking for a little bit of a test off your either trend line or this support level at the 128s. 128s, yeah, between the 128s and 126s, no lower than the 126s. If we get into that range, we're going to break this trend line, then we're headed down here. So we don't really want to see that. We want to see the Euro's a little bit stronger than JPY, so we can definitely kind of anticipate that this should be moving to the upside. We've already got a little bit of indication, and I'll be looking for this to again retest and work its way back up to the top side. So that's kind of it this week, you guys, on the pairs. Go ahead and make sure that you guys keep an eye on those that USJPY pair, anything tied to the dollar. The dollar's in a little bit of a trouble right now with the Trump situation, so we will definitely see how those things pan out. It can still go around and go back up, man. Everybody still likes the dollar. They want to buy it, but we're not quite sure if we're going to get things done. If this healthcare bill comes around this week, I think that might give the dollar enough momentum to continue its up climb. because that opens up the conversation again for taxes. Okay, the reason why we can't get tax reform done is because the healthcare bill needs to get passed. So until the healthcare bill gets taken care of, taxes are still kind of out in limbo. Because taxes are in limbo, healthcare bill is not passed. All the anticipation of what Trump was going to do for the dollar is not there right now. So they're just kind of waiting to see what these guys can do. So that's it for right now. If you guys have any questions, please drop them for me. Like the video at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel. I will be posting some signals this week. Again, we're going to ride that UJ out. If you're still in that trade, I swung this from last week. I'm still in it. I'm going to continue to ride it with the UJ and the US Mexican peso. I'm going to add to my trades this week the pound and the euro and maybe even the Aussie long position. So we'll see. That's a little bit too much US influence right there. So we'll see. I might just stick with maybe the pound and the euro, just because I know definitely the pound, because I've seen that chart and I know where it's at right now, and it has nowhere else but to go but up. So you'd kind of be crazy not to take that trade right now. And then scale into it. So start off small, let it start working its way back up, get a couple levels up, and then we'll start adding to that pound trade. But that's going to be the big boy trade that we're really, my team at least, are going to be looking at. Where are we at? Review. So again, coming off these lows here, this is a weekly chart, you guys. So these big boy time frames, okay? This could take a year to fulfill this trade, all right? It didn't get down there in 2 weeks. It's not going to pop back up in 2 weeks. So we got to take that in consideration. But as it's going, you can literally hold these positions and knock them out. So this isn't day trading. It's not even really swing trading, okay? We're holding positions for a long term. We'll check it every day. We might be able to add to it as it goes, but it's definitely a long-term trade. So until the next video, you guys, you know pimping ain't easy, but somebody got to do it. Let's get it done. Might as well be you and I. So I'll see you guys later.